Good rising. We are here. Let's get it. This is the Shill and Share Bitcoin Unified. We're going to get it started. Hello, Jackson. Hopefully, some more peeps will come in. I do a quick intro, and if you'll stick around, then we can get started. So let me get at it. Beijing, ni hao. London, hello, top of the morning to you. Los Angeles, hey. Paris, bonjour. Lisbon, hola. Hong Kong, hello. Sweden, hey. Toronto, good day, Tokyo, konnichiwa. Turkey, merhaba. My name is Trudy Art. And this morning, looks like our original space would not upload, so I just started a new space. I will post this new link in the Discord in just a bit here. But before we get started, this is the Universe Wallet. The Universe, it's an indexer, it's an explorer, inscribing marketplace, and now a Telegram bot. That is correct. A Telegram, Runes Telegram trading bot, all on BitcoinUniverse.io, unleashing Bitcoin's full potential. That is correct. Unleashing Bitcoin's full potential. Your all-in-one solution to manage all your assets in one place with full support for you've got Atomicals, BRC20, Dust 20, TAP, DMT, Runes. And again, I'm going to say it, big announcement this morning. We have got the Runes copy Telegram bot, copy trading bot. Peeps, the words can't even come out because it's so exciting. LRC20, Lambda, SRC20 stamp, and more. So we're going to talk about that Runes copy trading bot. This is pretty exciting. Already out the gate, we're past 5 Bitcoin. Yeah, 5 Bitcoin in trading. I think this one is actually going to be a winner, an absolute winner. Okay, now let me say this again. I'm always saying this before we get started. This is not financial advice, okay? This is not financial advice. You've got to do your own research. Even with this copy trading bot, you got to research it, and you got to make sure that it is the right tool for you. And let me tell you, especially in this market, it's going to potentially give you some much needed help. And I'm going to help you by asking you 3 questions, because I said this is not financial advice. And many people don't realize, how do you actually research? Well, you got to research by asking questions. Okay. One of the questions that I want to ask is, why is it that when I have an important show to do, actually, one of the questions is, do you have your water ready? I got my water all poured, and I do have to take a sip. But why is it when I have an important show to do, the link doesn't work? I don't know. Okay. Do you have your blood pressure monitor? I hope you do. There's just so much that has happened, and you're going to need one. What have you done for yourself lately? Mirror check. Yeah, check that mirror. Listen, I want to get into this copy trading bot. This is kind of cool, but I got to get some more people in here because they need to hear this information, and this is quite exciting. Let me see if anybody's put this in the Discord for me. Hopefully they have. And then we can get it started here. Because looks like they have. So I can move ahead. And we got to get people in here. This is exciting news. Why is this exciting? Because help is on the way. What kind of help? It's a Telegram trading bot. No joke, people. This market is the type of market where some of the bigger names in the space, in the Bitcoin space, yes, they're actually challenged. I was going to use another word. They're challenged right now. They're scratching their head. They're trying to figure out what is happening. What is happening? This was supposed to be April, April. And, they're kind of shocked. Yeah, they're shocked. People, what are they shocked about? They're shocked that there's gambling going on. Yeah, what kind of gambling? I don't know. Tariffs? They're tariffied. Oh my God, people. there is still hope. So do not fear, but we got to get some more people here because they're crying in their bear market. And I'm not going to stop, okay? I am not going to stop what? What am I not going to stop? Listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to stop being excited about my future. I don't give a nonsense if the market looks like it's going down. No, I don't. I don't give a nonsense about it, okay? Why don't I give a nonsense? Because people, I've done my homework, okay? And I continue to do my homework because things are changing all the time. And you know how I did my homework? You're gonna laugh. You're literally gonna laugh. But I watch Casablanca, people. Yeah, that's right. Play it again, Sam. I watch Casablanca. You gotta know the scripts, okay? Why? Because these scripts are being used in the construct that we call life. That's right. This whole entire planet is like all the world is a stage. And right now, don't be shocked. Okay. You know the part in the movie where the inspector comes in there, Sam, he's running that club and he's running a gambling joint in the club and he pays the inspector a little bit of money so he can run the club, right? And they're not supposed to be gambling, okay? It's wartime. They're not supposed to be. So they're gambling. And then the inspector, he's in there and he's gambling too. And it's like, wait a minute. He's not supposed to be doing that. His boss comes in and then he goes up to Sam and says, I'm shocked. There's gambling going on. You can't be doing this. People, did you really think that DT would get in that wonderful, beautiful White House and not ruffle things up a little bit? Oh, yeah. And then you're shocked? You're shocked. Come on. Don't be shocked, okay? So listen, let me just tell you what Bitcoin is doing right now. I can tell you what it's doing. Okay, well, here's what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin has decided that it's not shocked. So you know what it's doing? It's doing exactly what the players want it to do. And creating panic. It's creating panic. It's creating hysteria. It's creating, let me get out of here now. But this, I'm going to say it. This is the time where you just need to calm down, settle down, and look at a strategy. And what should one of your strategies be? And I'm going to shill and share. That's what one of my strategies is going to be today. And let me tell you what I'm going to shill and share. Yes. Oh, you're laughing, are you? You want to be entertained? Hey, come back as a not as a listener, but as a speaker. You want to be entertained? I'll tell you, this planet will entertain you. And they're going to use everything to entertain you. They're going to use our finances. But you know what? Not from my cold crypto hands are you going to get my Bitcoin. Yeah, come closer. Not from my cold crypto hands are you going to get my Bitcoin. In fact, I'm going to try to get more. I'm going to stack sats. And one of the ways that you can stack sats, because this is a shill and share. People, can you give me an emoji here? Can you guys come in as speakers? Can you come in as speakers here? Or are you all just listeners? Can you, when you come in to this show, this is a show, by the way. Yeah, it's a show. Can you come in as a speaker? Can you give me an emoji there? Sadie or EA, or I see a Frisco, see a Top Dev, Boy Zan. Maybe if you give me the 100 emoji, that would help me out a little bit, okay? But let me just kind of quickly move forward as I'm waiting for that. Okay, I got a thumbs up, so you can. So at any time you can make yourself a speaker and you can get on in here too, because I'm not playing with you people, okay? And here's what I'm not doing here. I'm going to tell you all about something pretty big here. Do not be shocked that there's gambling going on, okay? You can actually become a part of a responsible way to manage your risk, okay? Yeah, got it. Beautiful, beautiful. There's a responsible way to manage your risk. Listen to what's happening here, okay? The Bitcoin universe. If you go to bitcoinuniverse.io, listen, they're partnering. Yeah, big deal here this morning while Bitcoin is doing what it's doing. Don't be scared. They're partnering with @.swap. Okay? @._swap. We're here's the big announcement. We're unleashing .swap trading and copy trading bot plus UI, and it's an absolute game changer. You want to know why it's a game changer? Already out the gate. Okay? Out the gate over 2 Bitcoin in volume. Sorry, 5 Bitcoin in volume. Over 5 Bitcoin in volume. What does that tell you? There is a thirst. A thirst for what? There's a thirst for people that want to stack sats, people that actually want to change the game. You can swap runes in milliseconds. You can copy trade any address. Yeah, swap runes in milliseconds. Copy trade any. Oh my God. Okay, calm down. I see the back room here. I love it though. I love it. I absolutely love it. Peeps, if you come here, you're going to get a little bit wacky and a little bit zany with me because I'll tell you, I'm trying to stack sats and not from my cold crypto hands are you going to get my Bitcoin, okay? Yeah, come closer, all of you with your protest signs. Give me a break, okay? I'd like to write some of those protest signs for you. It's like, look in the mirror. Have you not figured this out? You got to have to start fighting for your mirror, people. There's sats to be stacked here, okay? So swap runes in milliseconds, copy trade any address. You got full leaderboard, steal the I don't know if I like the word steal, but I guess I'll use it, okay? How about we mirror the top traders alpha. Mirror the top traders alpha. Click copy trading while you chill and watch Netflix. Okay. Had something here about a beach. Whatever. But chill and watch Netflix and copy trade. No, but I'm being quite serious here. This is an opportunity to become one of the like there's traders out there that are pretty serious about this game and they're not sitting still and they're taking advantage of volatility. Volatility is a trader's best friend. That's a fact. Okay, Frisco, do you want to come in here because you put yourself as a speaker? I'd kind of like to hear from you.
GM, everyone. I didn't actually meaningfully give myself speaker, but since I went out of space, I just went out of space and speaker. I just keep going. I enjoy your what you're saying. So thank you.
Okay, hey, let me ask you a question here. I just see from your page you're conducting thorough research on the development of blockchain technology, co-founder at Block Magnates. Hey, can you just tell me a little bit about you? Because I've never heard from you. When did you hop into the Bitcoin space? Like, when did you get started in Bitcoin, or when did you get started in crypto?
Well, we are talking about when I got started. That would be like late 2023. Yes, late 2023. Around November period. So I was looking into Web3 as a whole, then I discovered Bitcoin actually because Bitcoin is the first thing I actually come in contact with first about blockchain technology. So, and I was just so, um, I would like to put it, over excited about the technology behind Bitcoin. And that season was during the ordinal season. So, how to, like, how you own assets on Bitcoin. Because when I first said about Bitcoin, I didn't believe that they can actually be smart contracts on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is just money, just value. So when I discovered that there was something that like owning NFTs on Bitcoin, so I had to like dive deeper. So that's how I first come in contact with Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin was the first thing I ever come in contact with. And I really love the ordinal space. Well, after Casey had because Casey was the one that was in our ordinals. So and the the revolution that came along with ordinals was something that I really loved about the space, yes. Because then I began to do some ground research about the technology behind it, how it's possible, and all those things. Before April 2024, that's when rules came about. So, mm, so
So
well,
do you,
actually, I'm just a, how will I put it? I'm just a, like you read in my profile, my bio, actually, I'm just conducting research. So I'm just checking out things
okay, cool. You're checking out
in the
stuff. I
space,
get it.
reading
You kind
about them,
okay.
keeping myself informed about
Okay.
every single thing in the space. So I continue. You can ask it.
Okay, no, cool. Something like your mic is a bit muffled. I hear some of your words, but I get it.
You can see what
Got
I'm
into
saying.
this. You got into the space around 2023. You're doing some ordinals. You mentioned Casey. Cool. Are you into runes at all? Runes. Are you in runes at all? Well, while he's figuring out if he's going to jump back in here, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if you go to bitcoinuniverse.io, because it's a shill and a share, but there's so much going on outside of this shilling and sharing. And that's just coming from this current administration, and some of the announcements that have come out are, impacting our beautiful Bitcoin. But guess what? Volatility is a trader's best friend. That's what they say, a trader's best friend. Listen, if you go to bitcoinuniverse.io, this is pretty new. There's a ton of stuff that's going to be happening. And some of the stuff I'm actually going to announce tomorrow. If any of you come back to the stamp space, there's something really big happening for stamp. Very, very big that the universe is building for stamp, Bitcoin Unified. They're building something pretty big, and they've kind of teased a little bit about it on the timeline. And today I want to just kind of hone in and zone in on this runes. Yeah, copy trading bot. Like, hello, people. If you go to bitcoinuniverse.io, um, you're actually going to see the leaderboard of elite traders, and then it says connect your Telegram. Okay. So right now, total traders 48, total volume 5.457 BTC. Okay. Average profit right now, because I guess, things have pulled back. It is in a little bit of negative 1.17%. However, on the leaderboard, that's if you're averaging everybody out, but on the leaderboard here, we see that the top trader has pulled in profits of about 16.97%. And that's pretty cool with 4 trades. The second trader, and you know what I wish they would do, these traders? I wish that they would come over to the universe and name their wallets so we could see their names, because we only see their addresses. And obviously, you know, they're here for the trading. I guess they're not here for the socializing. But the nice thing is we can actually go and copy their trade. So if you wanted to copy the trade of the top trader right now, you would have to connect that Telegram bot and then set your parameters and basically hit copy trade. Like, I mean, right here, on the front page of the bitcoinuniverse.io, it's uploaded with all of the details for this copy trading bot, and it's kind of cool. So I could literally just copy, and then when I hit copy, it's going to bring me to the dot swap trade bot. Okay. And then you click the dot swap trade bot, and then there's a menu here, buy, you enter the token name, the buy amount, and then you basically set your slippage, and you're good to go. So it's very, very, very easy, very, very cool, very easy to maneuver. So that's kind of cool. I'll tell you, there's quite a few traders here. This is quite amazing here that people are jumping on it right away. I mentioned that the second trader is. I'm just gonna share some stats with you, just so that you can get an idea of what is happening here. Second trader, 13.56%. He's done 73 trades. So there, oh my God, one guy has done 97 trades. You know what this tells me? This tells me that there is an actual appetite. There's an appetite for trading on top of Bitcoin. And I think it's the tools that we're missing. And let's be honest here. Within the Bitcoin space, it is hard to get that adrenaline rush that most of these degens are looking for. Yeah, what adrenaline rush that, they're in and out. They're gamblers, and they want to be able to have some fun on top of Bitcoin. And people, gambling is a utility, so don't knock it, but let me tell you, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count when the dealing's done. Thank you, Kenny Rogers. Okay. So basically, on top of Bitcoin, as you know, it is very tough to actually jump into a position, and then you have to wait for the mempool to clear and all of that sort of stuff. But now, these developers such as the universe, okay, Bitcoin Unified Universe, they are coming out and helping us that want to have that experience that we have been used to in crypto. Really, yeah, we've been used to, pump fund models or other models that allow you to quickly get in and out of a trade. And in fact, some of the bigger names, I was mentioning this earlier and I did not complete the thought. Some of the bigger names within the space that are used to bull markets and, things just going from zero to hero, they're noticing that the market is changing. I'm not getting any data as to why they think it's changing, but they have noticed that it's changing. They're noticing that this cycle, in fact, is not behaving like past cycles. And some are still scratching their head. Hey, come closer. I'll tell you why this cycle is not like the last. Hello, the professionals have arrived. The professionals have arrived. Yeah. So this crypto cycle is almost behaving like it's a stock market. Fancy that. Yeah. Fancy that. The government gets involved. Okay. Gives its approval, which is great, which is needed. And then we see more adoptions. The corporates coming in. Thank you, Mr. Saylor. He starts pumping the price. Why? Because he's buying big. And by the way, peeps, do not believe the hype. The hype. I guess it's the hype. There's rumors circulating that he may have to sell some of his bag. I don't think so. I think that's just a disclosure that needs to be said for all of those that are into the macro strategy, because it's not a micro strategy anymore, but into the strategy. And the talk is that he might get liquidated. I don't think so, peeps. It's a part of his whole system that he has to keep buying Bitcoin. He just does these raises and then he goes back and he buys more. He's even said, sell your kidney if you have to. I do not agree with that. Keep your kidneys, okay? Don't do that. But here's the point. The market has changed. So you got the government that has come in. You've got the corporate that has come in. Obviously, you got the Wall Street that has come in. These guys are just setting up right now. And they're not fully set up, okay? So you got the ETFs. And a lot of the ETF stuff, it's let me tell you, there's a lot of Bitcoin trading that happens off market. Let's put it that way. So the market is starting to resemble the TradFi space. Hey, I said that. I don't know who else is saying that, but I said that. It's starting to resemble the TradFi space. So these moonshot returns, they'll come back for sure. And in the meantime, there's a lot of scalping going on. There's a lot of sniping going on. There's a lot of scraping going on. So these copy trading bots are going to actually assist in tide goes in, tide goes out, tide goes in, tide goes out. So you're scooping a little bit at a time. And as you're scooping a little bit at a time, you're actually able to make a rate of return, unlike others that are going to be just holding. There's nothing wrong with holding. If you hold, you're going to go through the ups and the downs. I mean, I saw it over the weekend. Okay, if you got scared and you sold, then you probably missed out on a nice little bounce back there, because I actually was monitoring it through my own bag. I watched my bag go to zero almost, and then I watched it like do a hero return, and I thought, OMG. And now it's pulled back again. So if you're wondering, like, how do you take advantage of that, then as a shill and a share, I will tell you how you take advantage of that is looking at the tools that are out there. And one of the tools is the copy trading bot, Rune's copy trading bot. So if you want to stack sats, that's pretty cool that we now have a Rune's copy trading bot. I'm going to refresh it and see if anything's changed here. Yeah, there's a little bit of change here. The leader is still in first position here, an address E3HS, still in first position. You know what I'm thinking, peeps? Because this really jumped in a big way. I'm thinking China more than likely is loving this new copy trading bot, this Rune's copy trading bot. Yeah, in a big way. And why am I thinking that? Well, based on what is happening right now and some historical data that we've seen, typically when these sorts of things happen, many investors in China are known to move into Bitcoin. They move into Bitcoin at times like these uncertain times. And I will tell you, in fact, here we go. There is the coin desk here. They're saying, is this the catalyst Bitcoin bulls have been waiting for? China allows Yuan to fall below 7.2%. 7.2 level. Sorry, 7.2 level. Okay, so let's see what they're saying here. So China eased its grip on the yuan, okay, on Tuesday, allowing it to depreciate beyond a key level, likely in response to DT's aggressive tariffs. Crypto analysis anticipate that the yuan's depreciation could favor Bitcoin, drawing parallels to similar events from a decade ago. So we have some data as to what happened the last time that this sort of market setup was in play. So early Tuesday, the Chinese government set the so-called daily yuan fix at 7.2038 per dollar on Tuesday, the weakest since September. The yuan isn't a free float currency like the USD, Euro, and other G7 nations. Wow. And it's allowed to trade in a range of 2% on either side of the daily fix announced at 9:15 a.m. Beijing time. The 7.2 level has been considered a harder line in the sand for the central bank for years. The USD CNY pair has traded above the said level a few times since 2022, but never established a foothold. Okay. So this is coming from CoinDesk. So that could change with the PBOC. Okay. That is the Chinese government. They're explicitly setting the daily midpoint beyond the 7.2 level. Why is this mattering? Because guess what? Here's why it's mattering. Just hang on a second. In other words, okay, the move signals a shift to manage depreciation of the yuan, which will help keep China's exports cheaper and competitive, potentially offsetting the negative impact of DT's trade on Chinese goods. Now, capital flight to Bitcoin. Capital flight to Bitcoin. This is what you need to understand. The managed depreciation could also trigger a capital flight from China, which may find home in cryptocurrencies. This is according to analysis, okay, or analysts. The US is now pursuing full-scale economic pressure on China, which may be forced to respond with quantitative easing and a currency devaluation. If so, and if China permits capital flight, Bitcoin could surge. Bitcoin could surge. I want to say that again because some are not even prepared for that. Some are absolutely, they're not even sure what's going to happen because this is a little bit unprecedented that we have an individual that is the leader of the most powerful nation, okay, on this planet Earth, who has come out and is being quite unpredictable and is being, I would call him stone cold DT, okay? That's a WrestleMania metaphor because he loves WrestleMania. And he's sticking to his guns. And in fact, if the any of these partners out there or any of these trade partners or countries are not capitulating, well, he is doubling down and he's making things tougher. And in fact, he's made things tougher on China. So this particular move could actually trigger a full-on flight from from China into cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, which none are really prepared for because right now we're kind of waiting for something, some word to come out of, DT's office that kind of gives us a signal. We're waiting for some data. We're waiting for anything to kind of make this market into something worth jumping into. But I don't think that you necessarily have to sit back and wait. Why? Because there's smaller positions that you can take to set yourself up. Obviously, you can dollar cost average into the market. You can look at some of the projects, some of the coins that are kind of off their recent highs, which would be all of them. You know what's so funny? Here's what's so funny. I'm just going to be honest. I am actually quite excited about the market, but I am trying to be very careful because I know that it is producing a lot of challenges for people and it's producing a lot of stress for people. And I would say that I should not be laughing because it's not funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm really trying to use words that are going to be beneficial to you, that are going to help you, because I actually see that there is a ton of opportunity here within this market. And I think that you can get involved in these opportunities in a calculated, managed way. When you're setting up your crypto bags, you should set them up so that you have maybe, a 10% float that for buying opportunities, a 10% float for buying opportunities so that you'll have some cash on hand. And then you've got to look at, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just like, this is logic speaking here. Then you got to set things up so that you manage your risk within crypto because in fact, I don't know if anybody has told you this, but all of crypto is 100% risk and you can lose 100% of your principal. Absolutely. You can lose 100% of your principal. So you got to manage your risk. Okay. So some of the ways that you can manage your risk in crypto is by, first of all, not putting a dollar or even two in that you're not willing to lose. Once you put the dollar or two that you're willing to lose, because unfortunately in crypto there's no safe place, then you can start deploying uh deploying the you're kind of figuring out where you're going to put your monies. If you're in Bitcoin, which by the way, of all of the currencies out there that are crypto related, is the strongest and the most desired. And in fact, we're going to probably see it being a hedge, yeah, for all of that stuff that's tariffs. Okay. Um, let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna see it be a hedge for all of the stuff that's being tariffed to death. Okay, because people are not sure what to do. So instead of investing in all of these memes, you're going to see money more than likely coming back to Bitcoin. And you're going to see probably dollar cost averaging back into Bitcoin. So when you're dollar cost averaging back into Bitcoin, there are absolutely ways and strategies that you can actually use to help you to stack those sats. So obviously, you can um, buy Bitcoin directly, or and you can start looking at smaller ways to stack sats. Um, I'll get off topic for a bit, but I have been also jumping into art on top of Bitcoin. I actually participated last night in a mint, and that was for at Lunatics BTC. At Lunatics BTC, want to give them a shout out. Participated in that, and that was a really fun, interesting mint. It's still going on for those that were whitelisted, and within hours, it will be released to the public. And I believe these are one PFPs. Okay, so there's 3,333 pieces of art that were curated with the participation of many artists in the ordinal space, specifically ordinals. And each of these one of ones are quite interesting because they will have it's a little bit of a collaborative effort where different artists helped with curating these different pieces. Okay. And the whole Lunatics thing, it's a whole cult and a movement, and it's kind of fun. It's a moon, and the moon is kind of all about peace, love, and lunacy. And these art pieces, and I would really consider this one a PFP. And I talked last week about the difference between collecting PFPs versus actual art on top of Bitcoin, like art that's kind of like you know, your collectible art stuff that it's it's outside of the PFP type stuff. Okay, the PFPs are basically uh kind of how would I describe them? They're the stuff that most of us will use as our PFPs on our for our profile pics for our Twitter, and they happen to be some of the well known and highly desired projects out there. What are those projects? Let me just tell you. Okay, so there's highly coveted collectibles, including the Bitcoin pups, the node monkeys, the pizza ninjas, and people generally use those as their PFPs. Okay, and I would consider the at Lunatics to be a part of that. They're all about peace, love, and lunacy, and so you you've noted, or at least I have noted, that some of these PFPs, they start off very modest, and then some of them climb to astronomical amounts. Like a $30 mint can actually turn into a pretty big way to stack sats. In fact, okay, one of these projects has done incredibly well in the past, where we've seen, not all of them are $30 mints, but I've seen $30 mints go to, I always like to give the price in Bitcoin. Okay, so $30 mint, which would be 0.00039 BTC, can easily go to 0.039 BTC if you get on some of these projects really early. Okay, and a mint is really early. So you may want to check that out. Not financial advice, but it is fun too. It is fun too. I've seen some listings already for these Lunatics BTC, and the listing prices, the mint price is about $30, okay, and they're being listed right now anywhere from 0.000091 BTC all the way up to 0.0065 BTC. So let's see how that works out. Yeah, let's see how that works out. Okay, so let me tell you this. It'd be kind of nice if we could get more people in here and some people could start talking with me here so that we could get a conversation going on what's happening. Definitely, we got to try to get some more folks in here and see if they're even aware of some of the ways that you can actually stack these sats. I'm going back to the Runes copy trading bot. Why? Because it's pretty fascinating to me that out the gate, this thing is doing some pretty big numbers. There's already, we're at, there's so, yeah, we're nearing, we're 48 trades. We're about 3 hours in, and total BTC 5.487 BTC. And this is all being done on a red day. Yeah, this is all being done on a red day. Like right now, Bitcoin is sitting at $76,995. It's down about 2.85%. And we could see it sliding down further. However, what does this mean for us? Because I'm included in that. It means that we can absolutely start DCAing, picking up some Bitcoin, maybe taking a percentage of your cash and picking some up at these pullbacks, because likely what will happen is you're going to see potentially that pattern of tide goes in, tide goes out, and that's going to help you obviously with potentially stacking sats, and then maybe just looking at jumping into some of these different projects. Peeps, let me just be truthful here with you, okay? Let me just be truthful here with you. This is not going to look like fun right now, okay? So now I'm going to get to the mental health piece. This is not going to look like fun right now. I believe that outside of, having a strategy for stacking sats, you need a strategy for helping yourself. Yeah, helping yourself through this time, and not running away. Not running away from what? Not running away from your opportunity, because your opportunity is absolutely here, and your opportunity is this moment. And why? Because through volatility and through chaos is opportunity. Okay. Through volatility and chaos is opportunity. So realistically, if you can settle your mind down, settle yourself down, and have a rule set for investing, a rule set for coming into the crypto space. And the worst thing I believe that you can do, or any of us can do, is to be leaving at this time. Yeah, leaving at this time. Even if you don't do anything, stick around and get involved in the community that you're currently in. If you are, if your bag is filled with stamp, if your bag is filled with runes, if your bag is filled with BRC20, now is the time to be shilling and sharing the bag. Because if you bought it at the beginning, and if you're holding it now, there's got to be a reason why you're holding it. Start sharing that on the timeline, because people to react to words, and most of the words right now are very low vibrational words. And as we take in these low vibrational words, then we tend to behave in a way that corresponds with the low vibrational words. So let me just take a look for a second. Okay, I'm going to put Bitcoin here on the timeline here. And I'm talking the Google timeline, because I want to show you how words can really interfere with your mental state. Okay. What if you got up and you didn't know what was going on, but you had Bitcoin and you weren't in these spaces to know that this is all a part of the cycle and all of the games and stuff? What if you got up and you went over to FX Street that's telling us BTC USD potential for the future drop towards support zone? Oh, sorry. BTC USD potential for further drop towards support zone. Okay, well, you'd be kind of like, okay, what's that about? And then you move down, and then TradingView says BTC USD Bitcoin breaks long-term support as prices slide below 76,000 on tariff jitters. Okay, here are the words that would enter your brain computer. I'm going to show you how this works. Slides. Okay, if something slides, that means it's going down. Jitters means that, like, like it's kind of like creepy crawlies over your body. Your brain immediately takes in those two words, and it, unless you are programmed to not respond to words, it starts to enter your subconscious mind. Hey, you won't get this anywhere else. Okay, so I'm just telling you how this works. Okay, now here it says gold rate drops and investors sell Bitcoin to back USD in Trump trade war. Crypto crash. Okay, so here's the word that gets you. The word crash. The word war. War and crash. Those two words alone enter your subconscious mind. And as a trader, as a person holding a bag, you start thinking, maybe this is time for me to exit. But people, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away, and you got to know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count them when the dealing's done. This is not a time to fold them. This is the time to hold them. Okay. And that is my opinion. But you got to do what's right for you. Okay. Here's another one. Bitcoin falls amid tariff market rut. Okay. Well, obviously the word fall and rut. Okay. Those are the two words there. Let's see. Let me do one final one here. Sudden 1 trillion crypto market shock sees Bitcoin plunge under 80,000. Okay, listen, you are not going to be able to fight those words if you don't know how this game works. And the way that it works, especially if you're dealing with an asset of 21 million, is you have got to get that Bitcoin out of the hands of the holders. In fact, there was, because I like to always kind of look through the timeline, there was a post about someone that had shared Bitcoin with their family member, and they bought Bitcoin about 10 years ago. And they were up a bit. And as soon as the tariff stuff came, they sold everything, and they sold it over the weekend. And they were then a little bit taken aback when it bounced back on the Monday, because it bounced back, right, yesterday. And so the whole lesson that I learned from that specific post was that this is absolutely affecting people's mental state, and people are making decisions based on that information, which you have to make decisions based on data. And if you're going to make decisions based on data, then you have to look at, okay, they always say this in the investment world, and this should be said: past performance is no indicator of the future, because it's not. Past performance is no indicator of the future. And patterns are real. Okay, patterns are real. So we see that there's patterns. There's patterns where news affects everybody's psyche, and then people start taking actions based on the news. And by the way, do you know that news stands for north, east, west, and south? Yeah, north, east, west, and south. That's what it stands for. Okay. And what are they doing in the north, the east, the west, and the south? They're delivering words. And the words are taken into your brain computer. And as they're coming into your brain computer, what you're doing is you're making decisions based on those words. You should make decisions based on data. Here's one of the data points for Bitcoin. It's called 21 million. 21 million. Here's another data point. 7 billion. 7 billion. Let me just make sure here. 7 billion. Okay, I'm going to tell you what the 7 billion is. Boy, it'd be nice if somebody could come and talk to me. Oh, no, correction. Okay, as of 2025, the world population is estimated to be around 8.2 billion people. Projection that we're going to reach about 9 billion by 2037. Good luck. Nobody's having babies anymore. That's another show. Yeah, Mr. Musk is having all the babies for everybody. Okay, fellas, how do you like that? He's having all the babies and all the baby mamas. But anyhow, listen, 8.2 billion people, okay, versus 21 million. 21 million what? 21 million Bitcoin. So in a game, okay, in a game where there's 21 million Bitcoin, and in a game where the people that front run this 21 million are the people like you and the people like me who heard about this freedom technology. I'm shilling Bitcoin today. Yeah, that's my shill today, is Bitcoin, the copy trading bot, and the Lunatics artwork that dropped today. Okay, so here's my shill. Bitcoin comes out in 2009. Many of you know. Okay, Satoshi, his famous lines. 2009. What did he say? Something about. Let's see. Chancellor on the brink. Okay, so in 2009, he says, Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks. Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks. Bitcoin drops. Okay, January 3rd, 2009. That was a quote from Satoshi. And what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is freedom technology, peer-to-peer. Keep that in mind. That's a word that you need to put in your brain computer. Peer to where? Peer. That means me to you. Why does that matter? There's nothing in between us. There's nothing in between us other than all of us and cryptography. The cryptography that Bitcoin is allows us to have peer-to-peer trustless interaction. So we, the people, because we obviously going through the TradFi system, see that there is a trust barrier in TradFi, meaning that we have to go to the bank and we have to get verified by the bank. The bank has to make sure that we're worthy. We're worthy to be its customer. Okay, so they have to take our social insurance or your whatever your identifying number is, and then it has to look at your credit history. It looks at your employment, and it looks at all your information before it decides if you can join its club. And you join the bank's club through their bank accounts. Okay, and they can shut down your membership at any time. And if you want to do something financial, you literally have to get their permission. Now, through Bitcoin and cryptography, people, we are the ones that get to have peer-to-peer interaction, because in between us are algorithms, computers that are verifying our transactions. That is so important to remember. Why is that important to remember? Because we get to join the financial system without permission. We don't have to go to a building. We don't have to wait in line. We don't have to make an appointment. And we don't have to, be liked. So if the banker doesn't like the way that we look, if we didn't wear the right suit or the right dress or whatever, they can't, they can choose to, they won't say this, but hey, they can decline you, and they'll give you reasons as to data points as to why they're declining you. But in Bitcoin, you can be in your pajamas, you can be in your basement, you can be eating a pizza, and you can be participating. That is why the number 21 million versus 8 billion, 8.2 billion is very important. If we just found a portal to freedom, a portal to freedom technology, a portal, because it's a portal. This is how portals work, okay? This portal has been opened up. And in fact, it doesn't matter where you live on the planet. 8.2 billion people have access to that portal. Only 21 million will be allowed through that portal. That's it. I'm explaining it like that. Why? Because the people are crying in their bear market. Why would you cry in your bear market when you are amongst the, I don't want to use the word elite, because you know what? People have taken that a word elite and they have associated it with negativity. Okay, because they'll say, oh, Mr. So-and-so and his billions in the elite club. No. But in Bitcoin, you are literally in the 1%, okay? You are. Why? Because there's only 21 million and there's 8.2 billion people. So many of the early adopters of Bitcoin, they front run the traditional believers of things that were created in our society to be respected. Institutions with very beautiful buildings have been created in society to be respected. But as a result of these institutions continuing to fail people, okay, let's look at them. Educational institutions have started to fail. Governments, all of their institutions, Their legal institutions, okay, have started to fail, have started to crumble. The financial institutions have started to crumble. And so to combat that type of epic failure, people are looking for a free way that they can actually have route to autonomy. Autonomy. You and I really probably just want autonomy. We want the ability to make the decision of what food we're going to eat, of who we're going to transact with, what what we're gonna do in our day. We don't want to have to go to a place 9 to 5, 9 to 12. Trade time for money, all that sort of stuff. We actually have front run all of these institutions and jumped into freedom technology, Bitcoin. And now these guys, they're just waking up. So guess what they're doing? They're flipping over the monopoly board. Yep. They're flipping over the monopoly board to shake us out. Shake you out. They're flipping the monopoly board to shake you out. And you know what? Some of them are succeeding, because what's happening is, as soon as you gain traction in a movement and you see that the movement is legitimate, and if you are a large player, guess what, folks? You don't want to enter for top dollar. No. You want a deal. You want a deal. You want to go in and buy this thing cents on the dollar. But the problem in Bitcoin is, as soon as it goes down, other players come in and gobble it up. Why? Because of these numbers. 8.2 billion versus 21 million. Okay? We're going to see Bitcoin fluctuate more and more as these guys come in. And I would not be shaken out. I'd have a plan. I believe, this is what I believe. I believe you're going to see Bitcoin go from, let's say, one morning it'll start off at, say, $250,000. Yeah, $250,000 for one Bitcoin. I believe, this is my belief, it'll be 250, and by the afternoon, that Bitcoin will drop in one day. It'll drop to maybe 50 grand. 50 grand. And you're like, what? Yeah, because as the larger players get more and more Bitcoin, they will have the potential to do these type of movements, but it's to wear people out over time, wear you out over time, so that they can increase their position. And that's the only way that they can do it, is through creating enough volatility to shake you out. Because one thing that we do not like, our brains don't like, is we don't like to lose. We will fight harder to not lose than we will to win. Okay, we're something in our brain, we're kind of, maybe it's perversion or something, but we fight not to lose. Okay, we're not focused on winning enough. If you want to win, then you have to go absolutely to your mirror and ask your mirror more questions. One of the questions: why do you have to struggle so hard? Why do you have to struggle so hard to have a roof over your head? Why do you have to struggle so hard to put food on your table? Why do you have to struggle so hard to put gas in your car? Why do you have to struggle so hard? And at every year around this time, April, especially if you're in North America, you have to give 20% or 30% of your wages over to an institution called the government that is supposed to take that money, and that money is supposed to work on your behalf. And then you find out that there's corruption with how the monies are being handled. Like, how do you feel about that? That's why Bitcoin becomes a game changer. Bitcoin becomes a game changer because you're the government. Bitcoin becomes a game changer because you're the employer, right? You get to look in that mirror and you get to make the decisions because Bitcoin is freedom technology. It is removed all of the middleman. There's no more middleman. It's just you and your decisions. Because Bitcoin, because of the way that it's set up and because people are starting to understand it, once they start to understand it, that's where the value builds. The value isn't built in just price. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. It's the value of having something in your hand that literally, if you have a family member, if you're living in Chicago, you got a family member in Belgium, and if they need help, you can get them that help in less than 30 minutes. If they need some financial support, you can do that. You don't have to go and get a loan. Here's another thing. I don't like lending and borrowing, but just so you're aware, all of you know that if anyone is listening, you know that Bitcoin, in the traditional space, if you want to borrow money, you are going to have a good credit score. You're going to have a good job. So you're going to have good income. You might need a cosigner and you might need savings. Yeah, savings. Okay. And then you have to go through a loan process. And then once the loan is approved, then you have to go through signing and you have to give a personal guarantee. And the personal guarantee is that they will hunt you down if you don't make the payment. Okay. And that can be very challenging. Do you know that in Bitcoin, that in crypto, and specifically Bitcoin now, the only thing you have to have is Bitcoin? Yeah, the only thing you have to have is Bitcoin. I'm not saying you should borrow. I personally think you should stay away from borrowing. But if you want to compare the two worlds, TradFi compared to Bitcoin, and you can literally own a PFP. Okay, so remember I talked about what are some of those PFPs. Let's see. Let's say you own Bitcoin puppets, Node Monkeys, Pizza Ninja, or whatever PFP you have in your wallet. Okay, you can actually use that to borrow. You don't have to have a credit check. You don't have to have an employment letter. You literally can take your artwork in this digital world, okay? And you can actually get Bitcoin. And then that Bitcoin, you can use it for whatever purpose you want to use it. In fact, I saw a post where a guy, he needed a car battery and he used one of his PFPs and got a loan because he didn't want to sell it. I guess because the market is what it is right now. He didn't want to sell it. And some of these PFPs, these people are never going to sell them. They love them. They're like having a Rolex or a really fancy car or something. These PFPs, they're like a cult. People don't sell them. They rarely do. And many of you know, if you were an ETH and you have the Bored Ape Yacht Club and all that type of stuff, people like to keep that. And you know what they'll do? They'll have multiples. So they'll keep one forever and then they'll have a couple that they'll flip. So there's the infrastructure within Bitcoin right now is being set up that it's going to overtake the infrastructure in the TradFi space. Okay, it's going to overtake the infrastructure in the TradFi space. And let me just say this: I'm gonna wrap this up, but let me say this: the goal right now should be to stay calm. If you are afraid, maybe asking questions before you make a move, because you have to you got to make moves based on your comfort level. Do not listen to anybody that tells you to do A, B, C, or D. You have to structure things so that your comfort level, okay? But I would caution you, and I would say, maybe if you're afraid, just stay calm and ask yourself why you came here. And then go back to the words, and the words are 21 million. Write that somewhere. Write that in like on a board on your mirror in your bathroom or something. 21 million versus 8.2 billion. I can almost assure you that all those headlines that I read today are designed to weaken your mental state. They're designed to weaken your mental state. It's terrible. But that's what a lot of the news is designed to do. It's to weaken your mental state, so you will give away your sovereignty. Okay. And then once your mental state is weakened, then lo and behold, you give up. And sometimes you'll give up the very thing that could be your freedom. And we know that right now, Bitcoin is something that everybody is focused on. Everybody in the financial space, and finances are like 100% important. If people tell you that money is not important, well, run, because it is. Okay, it is. So before you do anything, look at those two words, 21 million versus 8.2 billion, and maybe just stay calm. Stay calm. Yeah, stay calm, because right now, what does Bitcoin do? Okay, yeah, we're at 77,000 right now, but we're at 76. Stay calm. Okay, what's going to happen? Let's say next week. DT, you know who DT is, and he uses more alarmist rhetoric, and things heat up even more. Well, Bitcoin is going to react. It's going to react. So what are you going to do? That's why I believe that we have to have a rule set for anything that we do. Make sure that you have at least 10% prepared for these times. Okay. And I talked about it before. If you're coming into Bitcoin or anything without having at least 24 months of expenses set aside, oh boy, that's going to be tough. Because some of the people that are actually selling, by the way, are people that are nervous about what might happen in the next few months, and they have massive obligations. Like, there could be, big investors in here that they've put money in Bitcoin, but they actually need that money to run their business. They actually need that money for a deal that's closing in a couple of weeks. And so they haven't created a rule set that's going to help them to stack sats and prosper. They have created a weak hand. Why? Because we have a game here where we've got 21 million versus 8.2 billion. And if you don't have a rule set to hang on to your 21 million side of things, the 8.2 billion that want in, they will do anything and everything to shake you out. They literally will. They'll do anything and everything to shake you out, and then the next thing you know, you're giving up your hand here. Okay, so you really need to think about having 24 months of expenses. Okay, not income. You don't run your life off of income of just the income. It's the expenses, like your housing, your food, your car, your groceries, your child payments, whatever. Those are that's how you run your household. Okay, so you need that amount of money to keep you going, and that amount of money should be outside of crypto, to be quite honest with you, because you need access to it. Because if you put it in crypto, you're probably really worried right now, thinking, oh my God, what if it goes down more? Yeah, just food for thought. But if you're set up, if you're good to go, if you have your expenses all looked after, And if you have a crypto bag right now, and if you're really worried about your crypto bag, think about it this way. Is this a time to be worried, or is this a time to maybe turn that around and then stack some more? And I'm going to just close out with a really good shill here. How can you stack some more? I would look at stacking some more through getting involved within the Bitcoin space right now. There's a ton of projects going on. I mentioned the Lunatics. That was a mint that I participated in. Why? Because the community is fun. The community, they've got like a ton of artists backing the projects. And you know what? It's a $30 mint. Yeah, literally a $30 mint. So where can you go for this, by the way? At Lunatics BTC. Let me give you the site. The site. Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, you know, their Twitter page is at Lunatics BTC. At Lunatics BTC. And there's only one place for their official mint. Official mint detail and links. It's only available at trio_XYZ. That's the official mint link at trio_.xyz. The white list should be finishing up soon, and it's going to be available to the public. At last count, there were about 1,215 mints. That was 4 hours ago that have been completed. And there's 3,333 of these lunatic pieces that are out there, these moons that are quite interesting. Okay. The other thing that I would look at is Bitcoin Universe, bitcoinuniverse.io. They sponsor this space. They allow me to do this space for now. And I do them differently, okay? I don't know what I go into some of these crypto spaces, and I would like people to come and talk to me, by the way. I leave and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. I leave and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I just sat in there and I heard dudes talk about their one space I went into, and the dudes were talking about their home renos, which is fine because I learned how to drywall. But I kind of wanted to, get some information on my bags, and I didn't get much information on my bags. So hopefully, if you come to these spaces, you're getting information on your bags. Part of pumping your bags is your mental state. So hopefully I gave you some information on your mental state, and it's knowing the game. Okay. Part of the game is the words. People use words to scare people all the time. Okay. And then they come right back in, and then you've basically given away your golden eggs. Okay. So a part of what I want to do right now is just share the bitcoinuniverse.io. If you go to that site, which is Bitcoin Universe, hello, we're here. You're going to see some great information on here. I love what the guys are doing with the website. Very user friendly. These builders, yeah, I will say these builders because I'm a chatter. I'm not a builder. I'm a shiller. They are building for the people. They're building for the degens. They're building for everybody. So if you're a novice, or if you're intermediary, or even if you're well versed within the crypto space, there's going to be tools for you. Here are some of the tools that I think that you should take a look at. On the very first page, you're going to see domain registration. Go check that out. You're going to see BRC20, the backward E presale. Yeah, I said it. Okay, backward E, whatever. Then there's the claim BRC20 tap. There's the claim BRC20, the puzzle piece. These are some, they're like pink sales that are happening. And you can jump into those pink sales. They're ongoing, it seems. And if you go over to tools and you hit pre-sale, BRC20, you can click into the most recent pre-sale. And once the pre-sale is over, then you can claim right from the right from the first page here on the website. Okay. Then there's also the Dust 20 deploy mint transfer. Okay, so that's pretty cool. But here's what's the best thing, literally the best thing right now that's happening. I think it's going to be in all of the entire crypto space. I think once Bitcoin kind of settles down and this news gets out there, because only the people that are paying attention are going to get this. I think this copy trading bot is going to be pretty big. Already out the gate, this is at 5.495 BTC. So here we have a leaderboard of elite traders. You connect to the Telegram and boom, you're in, and you can start moving along with the guys that are the top traders. So what I really like is if you're looking at the leaderboard, you see the top trader here, and you can just click copy and literally copy the trades. And it looks like, yeah, how much is 5 BTC right now? 5.45 BTC. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. So about, yeah, no, that's 420,000 USD. That's pretty cool. We're moving towards 500,000 so far, and this has only been out the gate about 3 hours. And runes are gonna come back in a big way, people. They're gonna be a good way to stack sats, and especially some of the bigger runes, which many are watching right now, which would be Dog Go to Moon or Billion Dollar Cat. There's a few out there that people are keeping their eyes on. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, so those are two of the bigger names that people are keeping eyes on, but there's some other ones that are flying under the radar right now that people are interested in, and this is all in partnership with DotSwap. And DotSwap has been really instrumental in the space right now, bringing liquidity to the space, and they're basically the liquidity provider here, and giving their together with the universe, this partnership is giving us a way to jump into runes ahead of the crowds. So that's kind of cool. That is very cool. My God. Okay. Yeah, that's it, folks. When the market is down, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to be out here, because I can sense the vibrations of the people are very different. Very different. Let me see, what are people talking about out there? Okay, so here are some of the spaces out there. There's South Korea seeks new trade deal. We got quite a few there. We've got emergency broadcasts. Oh my God, that guy again. Emergency broadcast. Then we've got the Bitcoin historian. He inspired Satoshi. We've got All Rise for on-chain monkeys. No tariffs on artwork. Everything is basically in response to these tariffs. So it's just a tariff fest going on out there. There's many festivals, but that's a tariff fest going on out there. So thanks, guys, for coming out, for listening to something different. Do me a favor and share this space with a friend. Ask them to come out, and let's see if we can't get some more voices in here. And I'd like to continue to come back and make this weekly and talk less and hear more from you guys. And let's see if we can't stack sats and prosper, because that's what I intend to do. Tomorrow there's a stamp space. More big stuff coming out for stamp. Really, really big stuff. So hopefully you'll come by. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sadie. Thank you, EA. And I know there was people jumping in and out here and there. Really appreciate you guys. Take care.